These next problems deal with the family of quadrilaterals, and you can see we kind of have a family tree here. At the top is this general quadrilateral, and the only property it has is that it's got four sides. All of the things under it fit into that category, so all of these are quadrilaterals. A trapezoid is a quadrilateral, a square is a quadrilateral, because they all have four sides. Let's look at some of the branches of this family. Here we have the kite branch of the family, and a kite is an interesting quadrilateral. It's got four sides, and then it's got two sets of sides that are the same length. So these two are the same length, these two are the same length, and the sides that are the same length touch each other. And that's what gives you that kite shape. Here, this branch is called the trapezoid, and a trapezoid has two sides that are parallel and two sides that are not parallel, and that's what gives you that trapezoid shape. And then over here we have maybe some of the quadrilaterals that you're more familiar with, the parallelogram, the rectangle, square, rhombus. The parallelogram has two sets of sides that are parallel. So these sides are parallel and these sides are parallel. Now the angles can be whatever they want to be. This can be squished out flat, it can be stretched more upright. As long as you've got two sets of sides that are parallel, then you've got a parallelogram, which makes the rectangle, the rhombus, and the square all parallelograms. These are all part of the parallelogram family. One type of parallelogram that's a little bit special is the rectangle. It's still got those parallel sides, but it's got 90-degree angles on all of its angles. Rect, that means right angle at the right angle. That's what makes a rectangle. It's got those 90-degree angles. A special kind of rectangle is a square. It's got the same thing going on. Parallel sets of sides, just like a parallelogram. It's got the right angles, just like a rectangle. And all the sides are the same length. So that's what makes a square. Another type of parallelogram is a rhombus. And a rhombus has two sets of sides that are parallel. Has to because it's a type of parallelogram. And it has all of its sides the same length, like the square. So these are all the same length. It does not necessarily have right angles. A rhombus can have any kind of angle in here you want. You can squish this all you want. So actually, if you think about it, a square is a parallelogram. It's also a rectangle, and it's a rhombus. It has all of those properties of all those things. So that's a little tour through the quadrilateral family. Let's see if we can answer a few questions with this now. So this first one says, choose the quadrilateral that is a parallelogram with equal sides. And we actually just looked at that, and we actually have two choices. All of these guys are parallelogram. The rectangle does not have equal length of sides. The rhombus does, and the square does. Let's see what our choices are. Triangle, trapezoid, rectangle, and rhombus. So square is not a choice. Rhombus is the only one that works there. And let's look at this one. It says, which describes the figure correctly? Is this A, a trapezoid, B, a square, C, a quadrilateral, or D, a parallelogram? And this one's a little bit tricky. To me, this looks like a trapezoid. It looks like this side and this side are parallel and the other two aren't. And it's also definitely a quadrilateral because it's got four sides. So I would say both A and C appear to be the right answer on this one. It's definitely not a square, definitely not a parallelogram. All right, last question. It says, which of the following statements is true? A, some parallelograms are trapezoids. Well, if we look at our family tree here, trapezoids are way over here, and parallelograms are way over here, and they do not share qualities. So this one has to be false. Let's look at B. Some triangles are quadrilaterals. And what that's saying is some three-sided objects have four sides. I don't think so. So that's false. This one says some rectangles are squares. And the last one says all rectangles are squares. So let's figure out if that's true. Here we have the rectangle as sort of the parent to the square. What that means is a square is a special case of a rectangle, so sometimes a rectangle is a square. But it doesn't mean every rectangle is a square. So some rectangles are squares, true. All rectangles are squares, false. So C is our correct answer there. So that's a little bit of work with quadrilaterals. My name is Larry. I'm a teacher at EdVision's Off Campus. It's an online project-based school in Minnesota. If you're interested, you can find us on the web at lovethisSchool.org. Thanks.